You're watching Pyro Media Network.
What is up, Royals? We are back with an episode of Kwame Speaks Live. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you. You could be watching anything else, but you chose this one, so we appreciate it. Thank you. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share, and subscribe. It does help the algorithm, and it helps our videos, so appreciate you for doing all that. Let's get into it. Families of people who were buried in a pauper's field next to the Hinds County Penal Farm near Jackson, Mississippi, are calling for a federal investigation into the burials, which took place without families even being notified. With their attorney now saying the field holds hundreds more graves, the families want a full accounting of the bodies buried there. We're going to get into all of that and more right here on Kwame Speaks Live. Stay tuned. Our top story tonight sheds light on a distressing situation in Jackson, Mississippi, where families of individuals buried in a pauper's field near the Hinds County Penal Farm are demanding a federal investigation. The burials occurred without notifying the families, leaving them in the dark about the fate of their loved ones. Last fall, this issue gained national attention when families revealed they had waited months to hear about their missing relatives, only to discover that they had already been buried in a grassy field marked only by a metal tag with a number. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump, representing the families, alleges that there may be hundreds more graves in the field. According to Crump, records from the coroner's office indicate that since 2016, 215 individuals have been buried without notifying their families. However, Melissa Faith Payne, the city's director of communications, insists that the bodies were placed in a pauper's graveyard managed by Hinds County, and these individuals were unclaimed by their families, including the homeless, inmates without claimed bodies, and unidentified persons. Attorney Ben Crump argues that there is a significant discrepancy between the official records and families' claims. He states, quote, "We know, based on the records from the coroner's office, that since 2016, in the last 8 years, we can identify 215 individuals that were buried behind that jail, and their families have not been notified," end quote. Several heart-wrenching stories have emerged, such as Betterston Wade's ordeal. She filed a missing persons report about her son Dexter Wade, only to discover months later that he had died and was buried in the local pauper's field.
Take your time.
My oldest son that I never would have thought that he would leave before me. This kind of way. How they just got him and just throwed him in a hole like he wasn't nobody, like he wasn't important. They just did what they wanted to do with him, and that wasn't right. I couldn't get no answers from nobody.
The police failed to inform the family, and the lack of communication among different departments exacerbated the situation.
Me and my family deserve better than that. We had to buy him back from the state. In order to do anything, to get a death certificate, we had to spend money.
With the families demanding justice, they are now calling for a comprehensive federal investigation into these burials. Attorney Ben Crump asserts that there is no excuse for failing to notify the next of kin about a deceased person's identity and manner of death. City officials, including Mayor Chokwe Lumumba, maintain that there was no malicious intent and no police misconduct found during their investigation. However, the families argue that there was a concerted effort to keep the truth about their loved ones' deaths from them.
It was very unfortunate. No cover up or anything like that, just miscommunication.
We're seeking to have the Federal Department of Justice come in and do an investigation to make sure that each and every one of these citizens, disproportionately Black citizens whose lives matter, will be identified, their families notified, and them given a proper funeral.
The struggles for closure continue for these families, even when Dexter Wade's remains were finally exhumed from the pauper's grave. His family faced another hardship.
Y'all done took him out the ground. Y'all put him in the ground without my permission. So I don't have no permission.
The process, scheduled for 11:30 a.m., began hours earlier without informing the grieving mother, leaving her staring blankly into the black bag holding her son's remains.
This how the system works? Is this what I'm living in? And I'm living in Mississippi. And this what I got to deal with? That I don't even matter.
As this situation unfolds, the families affected are seeking not only answers, but also accountability for the lack of communication and transparency surrounding these burials. We will continue to follow this story closely and keep you updated on any developments. Listen, there's a lot to talk about regarding this particular topic. There's so much speculation, so much questions that are still yet to be answered. But I want to hear what you guys think so far about what's happening, what's going on, what you feel, the law enforcement is doing, how you feel the legal team of the families are proceeding with everything, the whole situation. Let me know your thoughts. Write it in the comments. See you on the other side. Peace.
Thank you for watching Pyro Media Network. For more information, please visit pyromedianetwork.com.